Good morning, happy Friday. Today we're going to focus on how we can add and subtract mixed numbers. So if you've noticed, every day we're really adding on to what we know about fractions and how we can add our knowledge into doing different things with larger type fractions. All right. If we take 2 2/3 and 1 5/6 to add, can we add them just as they are right now? No. Why not? Because we're adding something that has a fraction and we need to have a common denominator. All right, so in order to get that, we're going to just kind of put this out of our brain just for a moment because we need to focus on getting a common denominator. Some of you are already thinking, I know what's common between the 3 and the 6. What is it? All right, I think I heard some 6s. All right, so I'm going to have to rewrite this because it's pretty bunched up together. So I'm going to go ahead and rewrite my 2 2/3. I'm going to start with that, okay? I think 6 goes into 6. Yes. And 3 also goes into 6. So my common denominator is going to be the 6 because they both have that in common as a multiple. Bam. All right. So now I'm going to go ahead and multiply something because I need my denominator to be a 6. So 3 times something is going to give me 6. What is that something? 3 times, you're not sure, count your multiples. 3. 3 times 2 is 6. That's 2. So whatever you do at the bottom for your denominator, you must do also for your numerator. So 3 times 2 is 6. 2 times 2 would be 4. All right, so this now changes from 2 2/3 to 2 4/6. 2 4/6. Ooh, that's tough to say. All right, so I'm going to rewrite my question as 2 4/6. I didn't need that part. Plus 1 5/6. The reason I didn't do anything here is because my denominator is already a 6, so I don't need to make any changes. Okay, so here is my new problem, disregarding all of this here. 2 4/6 plus 1 5/6. All right, what do I want to do first? I want to add up my whole numbers. 2 plus 1 is 3. Can I add these two fractions? Yes, because they have a common denominator. So my common denominator is going to be a 6. Only thing I need to do is add my numerators. 4 plus 5 is 9. All right. Some of you may notice this looks a little funky. Why does it look a little funky? A mixed number should have a whole number and a proper fraction. We need to change this improper fraction, 9/6, so that it has a proper fraction. So that means we need to make sure that the numerator, top number, is smaller than our denominator of 6. Okay, so now I'm just going to go ahead and move the board so I have less that I'm looking at. So I have 3 and 9/6. I need to make sure I have a mixed number with both whole number and proper fraction. So again, just looking at my fraction for right now, 9/6, changing this improper fraction to a mixed number, what does that look like? A division problem. So 9 divided by 6. 6 goes into 9 one time. 6 times 1 is 6, and we subtract to get 3. 6 goes into 9 one whole time with the remainder of 3 out of a possible 6. I'm going to erase my division work here so I have a little bit more space. These whiteboards sure do come in handy, don't they? All right, so the reason I kept this covered for so long is because I could see some of you going from 3 to 9/6 equals 1 3/6 and leaving it there. I kept this covered for a reason because 1 3/6 as a mixed number is just from our 9/6. Remember that we're taking this and adding it to our already existing whole number. So if I take my 9/6, which now transforms into 1 3/6, I still need to add these two together. 3 plus 1, because those are the only two whole numbers, is 4. Nothing happens to that fraction now because it's already in proper mode. So now we have 4 3/6. All right, so some of you are probably thinking, but wait a minute, 3/6 already can reduce. Here's the thing, if in your assignment you are trying to simplify or reduce, you must do so correctly. Your final answer must be correct. But if you leave it just like this, you're fine. This particular lesson is focusing on how we can add and subtract mixed numbers, not simplify and reduce. So if you are going to take the next gradual step, which is to simplify your fraction, fine, but make sure it's correct because your final answer needs to be correct. And if it's not, then it's wrong, okay? So just stick with this if you're not 110,000% sure of yourself on being correct when you simplify. Okay, so our total answer, final answer is 4 3/6. Or 4 and 3 goes into 3 one time, 3 goes into 6 two times. It would simplify to 4 1/2. Okay. All right, let's try one more problem. And this time we're going to try writing in view. 3 1/2 minus 1 1/3. So we're going to work on a subtraction problem this time. All right, so if we're going to subtract, we're doing the same thing. We can't subtract 3 minus 1/3, okay? So we can only subtract whole numbers for right now. 3 minus 1, can we do that? Sure. Can we subtract 1/2 minus 1/3? No. And what is the reason? Because we are looking for a common denominator. All right, that's what we need to do first. We must first find a common denominator. So as we're looking at 2 and 3, some of us are thinking very quickly using some quick mental math. I know the number that they have in common is, yep. So for those of you that are still struggling with doing some mental math kind of quickly in your head, just think about 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. 3, 6, 9, 12, 15. All of what I'm saying right now is what mental math I would be showing in here in previous videos, okay? But I know what two numbers they have, what one number that these two numbers have in common is the 6. So I'm going to go ahead and underneath, I'm going to write 3 1/2. And they have a denominator of 6. This box just tells me that whatever I do over here, I'm going to do over here to get me whatever this is here with a denominator of 6. And I'm subtracting 1 1/3 with something here. Again, denominator of 6. All right, one at a time. If you set up your problem, organize it, it really does help out with the thought process. All right, 3 1/2, wrote it. I need to multiply something here to get me a denominator of 6. I know that because I need to have a number that they both have in common, the smallest, most common number. Okay, so 2 times what would give me 6? 3. If I multiply a 3 with my denominator, I must multiply a 3 with my numerator. So 2 times 3 is 6? Yes. 1 times 3 is 3. All right, so now that I have 3/6, I'm going to just cross this section off because 3/6 is going to replace 1/2. So this now becomes 3 3/6. Just making sure I'm staying with it and cleaning up as I go. Okay, kind of like making dinner. You got to clean up as you go. All right. Now, moving on to the second half of the problem. 1 1/3. Okay, looking at that 1/3 piece. I need to do something from here to here. 3 can change into 6 by multiplying by what number? 3 times 2. Again, whatever I do with my denominator, I must do with my numerator. 3 times 2 is 6. 1 times 2 is 2. So 1/3 is equivalent to 2/6. I know that it's equivalent because I'm multiplying my numerator and denominator by the same number. That's how you get an equivalent fraction. Okay? I don't want that fraction anymore. I want this fraction. The 2/6 is going to now replace my 1/3 because these two numbers have a common denominator. So now I'm just going to rewrite this, my whole number. Nothing happened to it, so I'm keeping it right there. My 1/3 changed to 2/6. So now 2/6 is replacing 1/3. Now, can I subtract these two fractions? Yes, because they have a common denominator. 3 minus 1 is 2. I don't need to do anything with my denominator. It's common, it's the same, so it stays. Can I subtract 3 minus 2? Yeah. Bam. So 3 and 3/6 minus 1 and 2/6 will become 2 and 1/6. Okay? All right, so today's lesson focuses again on adding and subtracting mixed numbers. If there's something that you need to go back and review, please rewind, pause this video as many times as you need to make sure that you're understanding this information and content. Okay? Because today is Friday, we're going to have a quiz as your assignment, and it's just working on all the things that you've worked on this week. Okay? You can do it. You guys are great mathematicians. And again, if you have questions or if you need additional support, reach out. Okay? You got to ask for help. If you don't have any questions, great. Do it. Check your work and take your time. It's not a race. It really, 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 really is not a race. Okay? Just do your best, check your work, and turn your work in. Have a great day. Have a great weekend. I will see you later. Enjoy.